So we're here in Hollywood, California. We're on the set of Web Soup, talking to Chris Hardwick.
Well, we're in sort of the makeup room.
Well, we're kind of on the set. We're near the set.
Put makeup on our faces.
Right.
So we look adorable for television.
So how about that Twitter?
It is... You mean in general?
Or whatever.
It was pretty awesome. We did the Twitter conference yesterday.
Yeah.
We did the comedy panel. The Iron Sheik showed up.
Totally unexpected,
Totally
but
uninvited.
You guys were riffing?
It was, well, his riffing was, fuck Hulk Hogan! Rightfully so.
Right, of course.
For him,
yeah.
Of course. And but it was fun. It was awesome. It was great. He turned out to be a phenomenal add to the comedy panel. I did not know that he was doing stand-up, but he is.
Apparently so, yeah.
Apparently he is, and why not?
More power to him.
I completely agree.
Yeah. So you're on Twitter at...
Nerdist.
Nerdist, okay.
Yeah.
And how long have you been on Twitter?
Probably well, I parked an account a couple years ago, which was just my name, Hardwick. I have at Hardwick. And then I didn't use it. So I'm like, I don't want to get on another social network thing. I just migrated a couple times. You know, it was like Friendster, MySpace, Facebook, and then so I just sort of felt like, yeah, I'm gonna wait it out. And then when I launched my Nerdist blog, then I thought, oh, I should be on Twitter so that I can connect them. And initially, I just thought, oh, I'll just promote my blog. But then I signed up for the Nerdist Twitter account, and then I started using it, and then it became a painful addiction.
A sensation.
A girlfriend for me. An extra girlfriend.
Now you're doing the show Web Soup.
Yes.
Which is a loving copy of The Soup.
Loving copy is a nice way to say ripoff.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's the same producers, so we didn't just say, hey, that's a cool show, let's just do that ourselves. Unauthorized. It's a totally authorized ripoff of the Soup. And
this is your first season of The Soup?
Yes.
Of Web Soup,
yes, our first season of Web Soup. Yeah.
Okay, and it's on G4.
G4. Which is a network, which is very high up in the channel lineup.
Right.
So you get that high up, and you start feeling like, oh, I can't breathe. Where's my oxygen?
About 3,000 or so.
You just keep going up and up and up, and then like we're right at the peak of cable television. We're right at the top.
So I have to ask you, with your blog and your Twitter name Nerdist, you're kind of a self-proclaimed nerd or something like that. So what came first, the nerd or the comedian?
Well, I mean, I think they were just a joint package. But I always was obsessed with comedy. I mean, when other kids were watching sports, I was buying comedy albums, just listening to like Steve Martin and Richard Pryor and just any comedy album that I could get my hands on. So, and then the nerdy stuff started probably with my grandfather, who was a tech. He was a tech guy. He was a tech head. So he had the first Laserdisc player that you could buy in like 1979.
It cost like $5 million.
It was expensive, and you could only get a couple of those large spinning plates of movies, and that was it. He just had all the he got the Atari when you could get the Atari 2600. He had an Intellivision. He just had everything, like super hi-fi stereo systems. And I got my first computer in 1981, I think, 81 or 82. It was a Radio Shack TRS-80.
Trash 80.
Trash 80.
Nice.
And I remember not really being able to do much with it. You'd turn the terminal on, and it would fire up, and then it crashed. You couldn't do anything with it. So then I advanced to the Color Computer 2 shortly thereafter, and was able to run fun, basic blinking light programs and stuff like that. Very, very, very basic games. On top of also having an Atari 2600 myself and shooting lines at squares with the Atari 2600.
It's all good stuff.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
Yeah. So getting back to Twitter, how do you use Twitter? Like, what's your method to the madness?
My philosophy on Twitter is it's just basically I just feel like it's just about sharing information. It's just about just sharing information with the Twitter sphere. So some of it can be selfish information, but I feel like that should just be a percentage of it, and other information should be about other things that you see, technology, news, stuff that you think is funny that you want to share with people. But it really, I think at the core of it, the best way to use Twitter is literally as an information sharing portal and not just, I'm going to promote my thing. I think that's I think if you just do that, you're just taking from the system, and I think it's important to keep it smooth and running and palatable and fun. You need to share information that isn't just about you, but share with other people and retweet things that you think might be interesting to other people.
Yeah. So do you find yourself getting any bits for your act or anything like that off of like Twitter or just stuff on social media in general?
Not really.
Kind of
I've tried, but it's for some reason I just haven't figured out.
Yeah.
I just haven't figured out what's funny about it to other people. I mean, because
it's kind of a limited crowd that might.
It is sort of a limited crowd. I mean, like Twitter is huge in the nerd world, and obviously it tipped a bit. It's certainly more mainstream now, and I know people are aware of what. I mean, I think Twitter is sort of like Mad Men, where it's
it's like cool, but you don't.
A small percentage of the population knows what it is. Watches it, and then other people are aware of it and they know what it is, even if they don't exactly watch the show.
Right.
Like, I think Twitter's sort of like that. I think it's intimidating to people. Like, oh, I don't have anything to say. Well, it doesn't have to just be about, hey, I just had cereal. If you think about it as I'm just going to keep the information sphere moving, then it becomes a useful tool.
Yep. Definitely. So, and you're also you got a tour going on right now, or starting up?
I'm doing a comedy tour, actually called the Nice Tweets Comedy Tour.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the selfish side of my tweets is promoting the tour, and it's really kind of my main promotional outlet is Twitter. I'm curious to see if that works. Mm-hmm. If promoting a thing to Twitter, because it's not I know a lot of comics early on in MySpace's day, they were very effective at using MySpace to promote stuff, and Twitter is sort of like, it doesn't really work the same. It's sort of like Twitter's kind of like if you turn around and just look at a freeway for a few minutes, you'll see whatever cars went by at that minute that you looked at it. But then if you turn away, you're going to miss a lot of stuff because the stream of traffic moves so fast.
Yeah. It's a good analogy.
So then you're sort of like, well, do I tweet the same stuff several times and then risk pissing off people who are like, you said that already,
right?
Or do you gain anything by having people who wouldn't have seen it before see it at that exact moment because just the astrology of it worked out that they signed on and saw right when you were. I don't know. The answer is I don't know. I'm more inclined to not inundate people with too many tweets. I feel like I'm on the border of I almost tweet too much. I
think you're okay.
I tweet anytime, 6 to 10 times a day.
That's good.
And so I feel like that's a good amount for the majority of people who follow you.
Well, I appreciate all your Twitter advice.
Oh no, of course.
And,
I think it's great. I really think it's great.
And we got to see a taping of Web Soup, which was awesome.
Oh, thanks. It was
full of win, or whatever.
Full of win and whimsy.
All right, whimsy. Chris, thanks a lot.
Thank you for coming to my makeup room.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna go take my makeup off now because I gotta go out in public and it's weird.